Alright guys, welcome to part 1 of my declutter series. We're going to start with my first part of my eyeshadow palettes. I've always wanted to do one of these. I think it's going to be interesting to try to figure all this out. Alright, so let's get started. I think my next one I'm going to do is my primers, and I was thinking I might do it in ASMR. I like watching ASMR, and these are kind of background videos anyways. But I didn't want to jump right into that without getting everyone's opinion on here. I like to take that into consideration. So let me know how you feel about that. We got a lot of work to do here, so let's get started. I'm just going to grab from the front, keep them past. That's going to be the thing. Ace Beauty Grandiose palette. A lot of these are going to be boxycharm or subscription palettes because that's what this box mostly is. So I do apologize if you've already seen most of these. This palette is really pretty. I've played with the shimmers in this palette, as you can see, and I probably will keep this. I really like these sort of peachy shades for any sort of look, really. It works with all sorts of different looks. So this is going to be a keep for us, and we'll move on to the next one. The PUR for boxycharm palette is also a really nice color combination palette. Right there. Ooh, that's a good spot for lighting. I've done a look with all these peachy colors up here, and I did love the way that look turned out. So I would hold onto this palette just for those colors. So I am going to be keeping that one as well. The PUR Midnight Masquerade palette. I will tell you right now, before I even open it, I do not enjoy this palette. It is supposed to be, you know, a face palette and then some eyeshadows. I don't like the color story of the eyeshadows, and I don't care for the color story of the face colors as well. So this will be going into the pass pile. Any of these palettes I have not used yet will be going into my giveaway box. This one, as you can see, I've dipped into that silver blue shade there. So that one will be a, you know, I'll pass it on to someone I know. The Violet Voss Essentials palette. I really like this palette for the mere reason that it has a really good black down there. So I will be keeping that. This palette I've used a few colors on, and I'm excited to play more with it. But yeah, I really enjoy this palette, so I'll be keeping that one as well. Baked Bronze palette by Dose of Colors. I love this palette. I haven't used it yet, so I can't attest to how the shadows perform, but I love the color story here. I think these colors are really pretty, and you could make a lot of different simple looks out of this, which I tend to gravitate towards the neutral colors. So that will be a keep as well. We're not doing so hot right now. This palette, my baby. Does it look old? It's because she is. This was my very first high-end palette, and I loved this shade right here, Half Bake, as you can tell. I will never give this palette away. It's probably expired. I will continue to use it. I am a huge fan. I've never tried a naked palette since this one. I just love this palette. So that's a keeper too. Maybe, all right, let's keep, pass. Okay, next, the Wander Beauty Wondrous Rush palette. I will be passing this along. I have had pretty much every one in the Wander Beauty collection. I've passed them all on. These are just shades I feel like I could find somewhere else. They are pretty, but I'm trying not to have a million palettes, and this is just my first part of the palettes I have. So we will be passing that on, and that will be in the giveaway pile because I have not used that yet. The Ipsy did a collaboration with Tetris, and this is the palette that came out of that. I have not used this palette yet either, for the reason that I do not plan on keeping it. I'm not super in love with any of these colors, and once again, I just feel like I have a lot of colors like that. I like the collector vibe of that, but that will be in the giveaway pile as well. The PUR Festival palette. I love the packaging on this palette. I like PUR's eyeshadows. These glitters over here are amazing. I use my finger and stamp that on the center of a look, and it comes to life. So I will be keeping this palette. I do enjoy that palette quite a bit. This is a palette that I created myself. It is all my single shadow shades. You can see which ones I use a lot. So when Ipsy would send the single shadows when I was getting just the regular glam bag, I would use these. I would pop them out and magnet them. This is a Z palette that I got on Amazon for $10. So I will be keeping that. This is my favorite palette. This is my go-to palette, which is going to be like, what? There's so many other ones out there. The PUR Soria Diaries. This was one of the first palettes I got in boxycharm, and I just live for the colors. Not so much the colors. I love the way that these colors perform together. I have used this palette. It is quite loved, as you can see, and this is probably the palette I use the most often. Another Wander palette, Wander Beauty palette. The Seascape palette. I did try to play with that blue color right there, but again, this is not a palette that I will be keeping. I will pass this one on to someone I know. The Nomad Beauty Berlin Underground palette. It is very pretty. There are a lot of good shades. I've tried that looked to be a white shade to me. Looking now, you can very clearly tell that it is a blue. I did dig my finger into that, which I wish I hadn't, because this would be a giveaway if I did not do that, because I'm not going to be keeping this palette either. The Laura Lee Party Animal palette. This palette had a lot of mixed reviews, but I actually love this palette, especially around Halloween time for creative looks. These colors are not colors you come by all the time. The pigment on these are great. The It's a Party right here, the yellow shade, not too much pigment there. The Shane Dawson palette definitely has a lot better pigment than that, but those blues, the purple, they all perform very well. So I love this palette, and I will be keeping it. This Style London mini palette, I was originally like, I'm not really into that, but I tried these pinks shimmers here the other day on top of a brown look, and I loved how it looked. I feel like you could definitely just do a shimmer look with those alone. So after all, I will be keeping this palette, and I really didn't think I was going to. This was a palette I picked up at, I think, Burlington for like $6, and I hate how the pans are shaped. I feel like it's very hard to get any pigmentation out of this, and I liked that it offered so many colors, but the colors don't work, and the trays are awful, so I will not be giving that away because I don't want you to end up with it. So yeah, this is going to be a donate pile as well. The Celestial Thunder Dominique Cosmetics palette. This is a new palette for me. I haven't used it yet. I have a lot of these shades, so this will be a giveaway as well. I do like this brand. I love her lip gloss. It's like lemonade scented. I love it, and the packaging is really pretty, but it's just not something I need in my collection right now. The Icon Mini by Absolute New York eyeshadow palette. Again, these colors have the potential to be good, but I just can't do these rectangular shaped pans. It just really grinds my gears. So this one will be passing on as well. We're actually doing good with decluttering. I'm getting rid of a lot more than I thought I would. The Butter London, I love this casing. Natural Goddess palette. I think these colors are just beautiful. Trying to catch the shimmers on these shades. I'm really into it. I love how they threw that like pop of color there on the end. I like this palette. I will be keeping that palette. The Crown Glam Metals palette, I am not a fan. I do not like all shimmer shades in a palette. I don't think it gives it, you're never going to be able to get a look from this like on its own. You're not. One black matte and the rest shimmers, no. And I see what they're trying to do with the mirror there. It's cute, but it's not functional. So this palette is going in the giveaway pile. No thank you. Alomar Cosmetics. This came out so Kathleen Lights here on YouTube, her good friend, I wish I remembered the girl's name, but I do not, and I feel really bad. Anyways, when this first came out, this came in our boxycharm, and I love this palette. These colors perform so well. This orange and this shade together, we'll use this in a Get Ready With Me sometime with that silver on the lid. It's like a cut crease. It's beautiful. I want to get volume 2 of this. I just have not yet done so. Yeah, this is a big yes for me. I'll be keeping that. This Real Her Volume 1 eyeshadow palette, I do not like at all. I don't like it, and I did try it. And sometimes when I say try, it just means swatched. I put my fingers all over this thing. I do not like it at all. This will be a giveaway as well. And the last palette that I have for this video today is the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsession. I heard so many good things about Huda Beauty eyeshadows. This is the first one that I've tried, and I love the pigment in these colors. when I first unboxed this, I said I really didn't need these, but I don't think I could go on without them now. I just think you could get so many great looks from just this one small little palette. So I'm loving that. So it looks like we are ending up keeping these palettes here, which is going to just be so much more organized on my vanity once I get it back in there. And today we did declutter 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 palettes. This series is not for nothing. I'm going to clean out my beauty room, and you guys are going to, I guess, watch if you want to. Anyways, stay tuned. I'll probably drop another one of these at the start of next week, just because I have other videos planned for this week. I did get a request for a couple of things. My lash routine, my hair straightening routine. You guys love to comment on my hair, and I love that. I'm going to a concert Saturday night, so I'm going to do like one of those 0 to 100 transformation, get ready with me videos, and I'm going to do a morning routine this week. So next week we'll move on to primers, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it in ASMR. Let me know how you feel about that. Bye, guys.